Yes guys, how's it going? Welcome back to a new video. Welcome to the bank holiday weekend. Another one. Sat here in my brand new Newcastle kit. Well, I say new, it's just taken me all season to buy it. I was in the Newcastle club shop the other day. The third kit, 20 quid. That's right, this is currently £20 in the St James's Park store, or at least it was yesterday and the day before. I actually posted it on my Instagram, and quite a few of you guys actually messaged to say you went and got one. So follow my Instagram if you don't already. That is my plug for today. I will put it at the top of the link in the description. If I'm not posting on YouTube, I normally am on Instagram. But yeah, it looks like the new shirts for next season are probably on their way. If they're selling these for 20 quid, you can get the away kit for 35 online. This is actually sold out online. So I'm guessing it's the last batch in store. Whether it'll be that cheap on Sunday for the match day, I'm not sure. But at the moment, or at least from yesterday, it was only 20 quid. So be sure to go and take a look if you're passing by. But it is the bank holiday weekend, and it's a big weekend for Newcastle United. We take on Arsenal on Sunday, 4:30 at St James's Park. Newcastle hoping to clinch that Champions League spot this season. Arsenal trying to win the league, but it isn't looking quite as rosy as it was a couple of weeks ago. And this is the preview video, so we will talk a little bit about Arsenal, we'll talk about Newcastle. Eddie Howe has done his press conference yesterday. He has spoken about links to Neymar, Messi, Ronaldo, so we'll talk a little bit about that. But the big link that's caught my eye this weekend is to Bruno Guimaraes signing a new 5-year deal. Could that be our signing of the summer? Quite possibly. So we'll talk a little bit about that as well. And even Paul Dummett is being linked with a new contract. And we'll talk a little bit about why. Eddie Howe himself said that he hinted that Dummett will be getting a new deal. So we'll talk about that. And we'll finish with the lineups and the predictions as always, so be sure to get your prediction for the Arsenal game down in the description below. Right, starting off with Arsenal. Challenging for the title this season. It's gone a little bit downhill in the last couple of weeks. They are now sat 1 point behind Manchester City, but Man City have a game in hand. After leading in first place for the majority of the season, we always knew that Man City were hot on their tails, and Haaland goes and breaks Alan Shearer's record for most Premier League goals scored in a season. That guy has been outrageous, and we always knew that Man City would be in it. And Arsenal in the last few games have started dropping a few points. And now they're coming to St James's Park hoping to pick up 3 points. We remember what happened last season. We beat them 2-0. The atmosphere was incredible. I've no doubt it will be the same again tomorrow. War Flags are asking for everyone's help. Bring your flag, bring your scarf to the game. Let's get the atmosphere as good as it can be. You think right now we are flying? Since that loss against Villa, and I know it's easy to say in hindsight, but was that the kick up the backside we needed to really start pushing again? Because, as I say, what was it? 13 goals in a week, 3 wins, 9 points, 13 goals in a week. We are flying. Arsenal are having a little bit of a wobble. It's not over. They are still in it, and that's the thing that I will say about Arsenal. They're a good side. They're a very good side. They are above us in the league. There's a reason for that. They've played incredible football all season. They've been leading the league for a reason. And as much as we laughed at them last time when they lost, we stopped them getting Champions League football. Arteta had a meltdown in the changing room on their Amazon documentary. They're going to know that this time, you know? And it would really be, you know, fool me once, fool you, fool me twice, fool me, or whatever. Arteta's going to know that, and he needs to have that team know what to expect. They're not going to walk in like they did last time, or sleepwalking in thinking, no, you know, we are as quick and as strong as last time, but playing better football, you know? But they're playing better football as well. So, yes, this is not one for Newcastle to relax on. I think everyone's very excited. Everyone's very positive with their predictions, which I will be at the end of this video. But I think it really is that they are going to bring it. And we have to as well. As I say, we need to keep the same tempo, high energy, and keep the confidence flowing. You know, that's the thing with us. You've got a few players in there, like Murphy, who's just totally full of confidence right now. We've got Bruno laughing and joking on the pitch with Joe Linton and Shaw. You know, the Everton game where we started scoring goals for fun at the end and everyone's having a great time. That really positive, fun energy that we've got. We need to see that to the end of the season. And I mentioned it already, we've already secured 7th place. So we will be playing, at a minimum, some sort of European football this season. I think we're only 1 point off securing a Europa League spot. And I think it's 7 points to secure Champions League. So we are currently in pole position out of the remaining teams to get Champions League. And the season's not over, so we have to get the job done. And the 3 points against Arsenal, a side who've been very good this season, would be a great start. And although the season hasn't finished, we haven't got Champions League football yet. The summer transfer links have already started. Some crazy ones this week linked to Rafinha, which was quite an exciting one, which then got shot down. There's links to Ronaldo. Messi's leaving PSG. Could Newcastle get him? Probably not. And we've also been linked to Neymar as well. Eddie Howe was asked about this in his press conference, and he pretty much shot it down himself. I can't see it. And it sounds mental to say anything along the lines of, well, I don't want Messi. I don't want Ronaldo. You know, if you'd said that a few years ago, what? But we are doing so good, and I think the policy of Newcastle right now is we're not. And who knows what we'll do this summer? Because I think we could well go out and spend a bit of money. And Eddie Howe said we don't have an unlimited budget. I mentioned this in the previous video. I think our owners do have an unlimited budget, but it's to stay within the regulations of FFP, which is the trouble we're going to have. But I saw something about Newcastle aren't buying Galacticos. We are building Galacticos. We are making our own superstars. You look at, yes, obviously we bought Bruno, but how quickly has he come on for us and how good is he now? Joe Linton had his wobble and then has got great, and there's a team full of players there. You know, Shaw was, wasn't even getting a game under Bruce. You know, he was behind Lascelles and Clark or whatever, and now he's like a nailed-on player in the side. So it is building what we've got. Dan Burn, you know, people, why are Newcastle buying Dan Burn? You know, there's a centre-back playing left-back that's hopefully helped Newcastle get Champions League this season. So I'm loving that kind of, let's go and like make it rather than buy it. But it's not to say that I wouldn't mind spending a bit of money as well. But as I've mentioned, building our own players, Bruno Guimaraes, how good has he been? And there has been a few links to him leaving. We had it in the summer, links to Real Madrid. Most recently, he's getting linked with PSG. I even saw some links to Liverpool. That's one thing that's crazy right now. Just the transfer links at the moment are mad. But we know Bruno is loving his football here. He actually asked Joe Linton to be his best man at his wedding. The two Brazilians rocking the middle of the park for Newcastle are getting on so well. And there was links to Bruno signing a new deal back in January. There's more links coming out again. It's actually being reported that Bruno is set to sign a new 5-year deal and nail down his future at St James's Park, which is massive. I honestly think that Bruno signing a contract of that magnitude is as big as a new signing this summer window. That guy is so good, and it's securing Bruno's future to us, but it's also putting something in place for Newcastle United so that in a year or 2 or 3, if Bruno decides he does want to leave, well, we've got him on a huge contract, by the way. He's not going to walk out the door for nothing. We actually want that 100 million you offered us a few years ago. So it's great for both sides. It means that we keep Bruno for as long as we can, and if there is a day comes that he wants to move away, as I say, as much as Newcastle's the biggest club in the world to me, and I'm sure it probably is for Bruno right now as well, for a South American player to have links to teams like Real Madrid, it's going to catch his eye. And if he keeps playing the way he does, teams will be coming in for him. So yeah, that is big, and I don't think that'll be the only contract we're doing this summer. As I say, a lot of this is also bearing on what place we finish this season. If we are finishing in the top 4, I think there'll be a few players in there going, by the way, Champions League football, I've done all right this season. I wouldn't mind a new contract as well. I wouldn't be surprised to see us maybe extend Trippier for another year or 2. Don't know what Joe Linton's contract's saying at the moment, but yeah, I think there will be definitely people in there asking the question. But Bruno's the big one hitting the headlines, which I'm very happy to see. Another one hitting the headlines is Paul Dummett. Eddie Howe actually spoke about the fact that there are players' contracts ending this summer, and that Dummett is one that could well see another 1-year extension. I mean, you gotta love it. You gotta love Dummett. Living the life of Riley, just a local lad playing for his hometown club, walking in the training ground every day, kicking the ball around with his mates, and what seems to be the most fun, exciting team Newcastle have had in a very long time. Goes home with his, don't know how much he's getting paid, but I'm sure it's a fair penny for the fact that he hasn't played any games this season. Loving it. Big up Dummett. I mean, he's had his criticisms in the past, but I've always said he always worked hard, he always played for the shirt. And he's one of the players that's been here through thick and thin, down the Championship, back up again, back down again. You know, he's been here for over 10 years. And one of the big reasons is homegrown players. The rule is, and I'm going to try and not butcher this, but you need to have 8 homegrown players in your European squad. 4 of those homegrown players have to be academy graduates, basically, or players who have been at your club between the ages of, I think, 16 and 21 for a minimum of 3 or 4 years. So you're looking at Dummett. I don't even know if Gillespie actually qualifies, because I think he'd actually left too early as a youngster. So Dummett, Longstaff, Elliot Anderson, but depending on his age, have we got to sign him anyway? Matty Longstaff, I mean, is Matty Longstaff, who has been playing in League One and now has an injury, going to be capable for Champions League football? So there's that going on there, and maybe that's why you could see Dummett. But I also think Eddie Howe's a big fan of what players bring to the dressing room. I keep talking about Murphy. I think Murphy will be an absolute character. He's loving it. He's bringing the energy. He'll be bringing a lot. And I think Dummett, as someone who's been at the club for a long time, knows what it means to be a Newcastle player as well. So keep your eyes on that one. But I'll keep my eyes on the Bruno one. In terms of back to the game this weekend, Eddie Howe also spoke on Isak and Wilson, talked about how they are complementing each other so well. Currently rivaling the Demba Ba Cisse tally. I think they're currently 4 or 5 goals behind the pair of them as to goals scored this season. So could we have... This is the thing, you don't quite realise it when it's happening right in front of your face. You look back at that season, there's like such a wow season. Ba and Cisse is scoring so many goals. Wilson and Isak are literally doing it right now. Like, it's actually happening. It's just, because it's just so thick and fast, you don't quite realise at times how good and how many goals we're scoring. We scored 13 last week, but how good we are playing right now. And there is people calling for Isak and Wilson to both start this Sunday. I don't think it'll happen, and that's not what I've put in my lineup either. I have gone with the standard back 4, Pope and Net. I've kept Burn in there. It was nice to see Matty Target get himself a little run around, but I think if Burn's fit, he plays. And Target did okay. I thought his distribution out the back was good, because he turns onto his left, he plays it forward, he's got a good touch. He got out-muscled a couple of times, and to be honest, and he didn't look as quick as I remembered him being, but a lot of that is that he hasn't played all season. So you can't just throw him in and go, oh, well, he actually wasn't that good. He hasn't played a game in ages, so give him the benefit of the doubt, but I think it'll be Burn, I think it'll be Botman, Shaw and Trippier. I can't see that changing very much. In the midfield, I have put Longstaff back in there. He's obviously been out injured. Eddie Howe was quite coy in his press conference as to whether Longstaff would be back or not. I think we missed him. You know, I think Longstaff breaking stuff up in the midfield. He has got a little dash of pace as well, which I think helps when recovering the ball. I think him and Bruno work well together. And again, saying that 2 years later, after Longstaff had seemingly totally fell off the boil under Steve Bruce, it's another player that we've built up. You talk about Longstaff being worth 40 million a few seasons ago. You know, I tell you what, he's probably worth more now. Like, he's really playing well. Obviously, I've gone for Bruno and I've gone for Willock as well. So into the front line, because I've brought Longstaff in, you've got to keep Joe Linton in at the minute. So I've actually pushed him out on the left. The other options are Maxi, who's not fully fit, Gordon, who I thought did okay. You know, he was on for a first half in the Southampton game. He had the most chances. He had 3 attempts. 1 hit the post. Eddie Howe took him off at half-time and brought Wilson on, and it changed the game, and we did way better. So I'm not going to have a go at Gordon. I think everybody wants Gordon to do well. He didn't look as urgent as I would have liked, but then this goes back to he's not playing every week. I think when he had the ball, he did well. He had a lot of space. He had a lot of the ball. We're obviously looking for him. People are looking up and going, who do I give it to? That's why Bruno has the ball all the time, because Longstaff looks up and goes, oh, God, gives it to Bruno. Or anybody looks up and goes, give it to Bruno. Gordon got the ball quite a lot. He had a lot of space. I think he played decent. Had he scored in that first half, it could have propelled him on, but I've put Joe Linton on the left. Over on the right, I've kept my main man, Murphy, who I can't stop talking about. Almiron came in for the other week. I thought did okay. Had a tough, slow start to the Everton game when they were really pressing us. I think at home, Murphy will work his socks off, so I'll go with him. And then up front, I've gone with Isak. So I haven't gone with Wilson and Isak. Why have I picked Isak? Because Wilson started the last one, and Eddie Howe likes to mix it up. Really, the pair of them are doing really well. Obviously, Isak's the one we want to see in a long-term capacity play for Newcastle every single week. But right now, the interchange is good. And although I do agree that having the pair of them play together is great, if we don't have to start them that way and then bring them both on later, I think that works well too. You talk about Wilson is in the form of his life at the back end of his career, and I think that's because he's not playing every minute. We haven't touched wood everywhere. We haven't had to deal with much of a Callum Wilson injury issue this season, and I think it's because he's only playing 45 minutes a game and he's scoring more goals than he did last season. So, you know what I mean? It's working well. Don't mess with it. If things aren't going well tomorrow, we'll sling him on for the second half and he'll come on and score 2 goals. So what's that to worry about? So you let me know your lineups down below. In terms of a prediction, I'm going to back it. I'm going to go with what we went for, what we got last season. 2-0. Last time round, it was right at the end of the season. We stopped Arsenal getting Champions League on their Amazon documentary. This time round, on our Amazon documentary, we're going to see us pick up 3 points and take us a step forward to that Champions League spot. Alright guys, thanks for watching. As always, drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Be sure to go and check out my Instagram if you haven't already. As I've mentioned, if I'm not posting on here, I'm posting over there. Loads of content right now, so be sure to go and check it out. Thank you for watching. Enjoy your long weekend. Fingers crossed it's a good one tomorrow. And I'll catch you later.